Hey everybody! Welcome to Let's Look at Battlerite. This is the new arena combat game, and I'll address that, because when I say arena combat, you might think you have an idea of what that means. It's a meaningless statement that I'm using as a placeholder temporarily. This is from Stunlock Studios. They made Bloodline Champions. I haven't played Bloodline Champions, but as I understand it, it was kind of a prototypical MOBA sort of RPG. Battlerite is spun off from that. And I will say that in terms of like name, arts, even maybe a little bit gameplay, if you look at it, you're going to think that this looks generic. But it really distills that kind of MOBA-esque, you know, hero versus hero combat down to brass tacks, like simplest principles, its most fun form. And I've really been surprised by how much I've been enjoying this, especially playing it with, you know, some of my friends. And I put 6 hours into this in 2 days, which is crazy because I've also been trying to work my butt off since we just got back from being away for a while. But Battlerite didn't dazzle me with its trailer, but it got enough positive word of mouth that I was like, let's peep it. I bought it myself for 20 bucks, which is what it's for sale for on Steam. And I think it's really good. I think that you should come at it with a layer of reserved skepticism, but then once you see it and see how much fun we're having, maybe you'll change your mind. By the way, this is going to be free to play, supposedly when it comes out. They're just trying to figure out what free to play model to use. So if you enjoy it, but you're like, I don't know if it's worth 20 bucks right now, you can wait it out, and supposedly in 2017 it's going to be free to play with microtransactions. If you buy the version that's available right now, you at least get all of the heroes as they're released in the future. And let's get started here with the game against the AI, and you'll see what this game's all about. So again, imagine a MOBA, but no farming, no laning, just you spawn in at level 25 and you go to town against other heroes. And you can play 2v2 or 3v3. I'm not actually sure which one is considered the canonical form of the game. I've been playing a lot of 2v2 with Kate, and I played some 3v3 with Matheson and Victor last night. I'm gonna talk about classes and, you know, the meta game and what you unlock and crates and stuff like that as we play more and more. But for now, I figured we'd just go up against the AI, and I'm playing as a character called Jade. And thankfully, we have a healer next to us called Pearl here as well. I might want to lower the volume somewhat, but for now, it's okay. Basically, round one, and every subsequent round, it's best of 5. So the first person to win 3 wins the game. The first team to win 3 rounds wins the game. And you win by killing the other team. No respawns, permadeath once you die until the next round starts anyway. You get to choose a Battlerite every single round, which is the namesake of the game. But it's basically just an augmentation to your existing abilities. So we can have Stealth make us immaterial, which is just invulnerable for a little while. We can have our basic attack make our Stealth cool down faster, which is what I'm going to go for. Or we can have Disabling Shots, instantly reload revolver shot with double its starting ammo composition. So we're gonna go with, you know, making our auto attack reduce stealth. And my teammate's probably like, dude, come on. You've made this decision 100 times. Don't worry too much about what my abilities are right now. I'll try to explain them on the fly. I'm gonna open with my E ability here. These are all located on the quick bar at the bottom. If it lands, which it did not, that would have disabled the enemy for a second or two, basically making it so that they, this is the AI, by the way. Basically making it so that they would have not been able to cast any spells. But it got spell blocked there. This is my escape, which was on spacebar there. It's a stun that also does a little bit of damage, but mostly it's used to escape or engage in some situations. I also used my right click, which is a snipe that has a crazy long charge time, but when it lands, it gets a small stun. The AI just used their ultimate, so I responded with my ultimate, and we're basically going to get the win there. Other abilities... Right click was the snipe, left click is the revolver shot that does damage. I'm the MVP, apparently. Did I do that? Did I break it? What's a high score? My ultimate is just burst damage, basically, if you hit them. I also have this R ability, which is called Junk Shot. I'm just gonna... Don't worry about the Battlerite too much. Junk Shot, basically knocks enemies back, and then our Q is Stealth, which allows us to escape. And then also we could use it to engage, I suppose. But remember, revolver shots, these Battlerite stack, so our revolver shot actually allows us to charge our stealth faster and then use our stealth more frequently, if we wanted to at least. I'm doing against the AI right now, just to kind of give you an early lead into what's going on here so you can understand what's happening. Especially, oh my god, it was a great stun considering it's from the AI here. You know, oftentimes, especially if you've never played a MOBA before, which I'm assuming doesn't describe that many people, considering how popular, you know, games like Dota 2 and League of Legends are. I'm assuming that most people are if not intimately familiar, at least somewhat familiar with what's going on here. But if not, you know, I know it can be super confusing the first time that you see it. You know, it's very similar, supposedly, at least Invictus told me, to, you know, the World of Warcraft arena format as well. Basically, I'm trying to land my stuns and my silences, and then go wild with my ultimate, for example. And I'm playing against the AI just to make that easier. Now, there are orbs that you can get as well, and if you get these orbs, they spawn if you stand in the middle for a certain length of time, but then anybody can get them. If you pick up the orbs, some of them give you health, some of them give you power, which charges your ultimate, or energy that charges your ultimate, and some of them, I think, do a little bit of damage to the enemy. I'm not 100% sure, though. That's still one of the intricacies of which I've not totally figured out yet. But what I think makes Battlerite so fun is that, I mean, I like MOBAs, and I don't feel like I need to apologize for that. The reason I don't play them so much anymore is because, like, it's a huge time commitment, man. Dota 2 games, you know, they run from like 20 minutes to an hour. And that's got some good stuff going on. There's lots of time for strategy and augmentations to your strategy. It's a slow burn where, you know, incremental changes can have snowballing effects. But they also sometimes end up being very frustrating if you know you're gonna lose. I guess my teammate is just deciding to let me go 1v1 here because I guess I didn't give him the MVPs or something. No problem though. Should be fine. Actually, this should be borderline impossible, but the AI is relatively bad, which is fine because most of the time you're gonna be playing against people anyway. Anyway, I'm belaboring the point, but what I'm getting at is, come on. What I'm getting at is that, you know, the principal problem with the MOBA for me is that it's really frustrating when you lose because, you know, sometimes you see the writing on the wall for 20 minutes, but you have to wait until the game actually ends in order to give up. And that can be super annoying. Sometimes you'll play against a team and just be like, we are going to lose. That's borderline guaranteed, because they're just better than us. But the games are over in less than 10 minutes. And it's all combat. There's very little, like, we're gonna lose, but they want to farm for 75 minutes. So, I think in that sense, this really does solve a problem that makes MOBAs a little bit annoying for a casual audience. And this is definitely a casualized game. But not to say that there's not a high skill ceiling involved with it, but it's a game that you can kind of jump in and jump out of, and if you spend 8 hours, you're not going to play 8 games. You're going to play, you know, like 100. So we did fine there, but really, there's a double purpose there. This is our ELO, by the way. We're grade 8. The grades go from 5 to 15, which is a little confusing to me, but we're like low mid-tier right now, basically. There are placement matches when you start. We unlocked a crate because we got to a certain level just by picking up experience, and I also finished one of my daily quests here, Hearthstone style, which is going to give me another crate, so we get a silver chest. Silver chests are worse than gold quests. Play a number of 2v2 games. Alright, that seems fine. Again, this stuff is a little weird, like this stuff with the microtransactions. I mean, there are no microtransactions right now, to the best of my knowledge. Maybe, I guess you could buy more. Oh, but this chest cannot be purchased. How about these ones? You can buy more. But you don't need to buy keys to open them. So if you get a chest, at least for now, you just get to open it, which makes sense to me because at least in the early access form right now, I mean, you're paying to access the game. So to pay to access keys as well would be really annoying. So I'm glad that they don't do that. But again, there's apparently, according to them, they're still figuring out the way that they're going to do monetization in the game itself when it actually comes out, and again, it's supposed to be free to play. So for right now, it's a little wonky, and I'm going to avoid like prejudging the game for that. But we're going to start up another game here. We're going to play as the same character, so you can see what it's like to play against human beings. One of the things that I find really interesting is there's kind of like a rock paper scissors thing going on with team composition, especially like in 3v3. You can kind of afford to run, you know, a DPS tank healer, like a classic combo, and my character is basically DPS. Or literally DPS, I guess, not basically. But in 2v2, it's a little different. Like, if you're running DPS healer, then you're probably going to lose to DPS if they focus the healer. And if I have, like, a principal... Well, if I have two principal complaints about the game... Complaints, I should say. One of them is that I think that, design-wise, it is a little generic, and... You know, it's always going to take you time to learn characters' names and stuff like that, but, like, it kind of looks like a game that you'd see an ad for while watching an NFL football game. You know, like, will you be my hero? I don't mean that to be insulting, but, you know, it's not visually supremely impressive, I guess. We should really focus the DPS. My other complaint, though, is that, or we should focus the support is what I mean to say. My other complaint is that it's very simple from a tactical standpoint, at least an intellectual standpoint, what you're supposed to do. You focus their support. If you don't, like, you will probably lose. Like, every game that I've easily won has basically been a result of the enemies just not knowing how to focus the proper units. So if you actually focus the supports down, it's very frustrating as a support. Help, help, help. I'm gonna die. I am super dead. Escape. No, that was my bad. We probably could have pulled that one out. That's fine, though. Where did we lose that one? He out DPS'd us. He out healed us. That's fine. Again, best of 3, so there is time to come back here. And I don't know if I articulated what I meant by that very well. What I mean is that sometimes you will enter a game and, you know, you'll be support DPS against 2 DPS, and the 2 DPS just focus the support down every time, and you use all your escapes and all your defensive abilities, and you still just die. And you're like, well, we're gonna lose this game. We can try to win, and that's fine, but we're probably gonna lose. I almost wish there was some way where, like, after round 1, you could counter pick or have, like, another round of picks and maybe a small cost associated with that or something. But that definitely does change the style of game. So I'm not, you know, that's a different design, I guess, is what I'm getting at. And that's something that is a little bit more of a higher level concern. It feels real satisfying when you succeed, though. And I'm hopeful. Nicely done. He just went for the straight up heal. Oh, there's another mechanic that I didn't talk about here that's actually very valuable to speak of. Well, there's 2. One of them is, you know, you see how you have these discrete health bars. The health bar actually... Oh, yeah. Use your ultimate when he's immaterial. Good choice. When your health bar gets lowered to the point where you lose one of the discrete health bars, it never comes back. So you can't really... you know, get down to 1 HP and then pull your way all the way back from the brink. You really have to try to manage your HP, and you know that if you ever take sustained amounts of damage, you're never going to get back to max HP. Which is frustrating when a DPS focuses you, but at the same time, it means that if you come super close to killing somebody, they will remain pretty close to death. Which is, I think, a good thing from a momentum standpoint, and it keeps the games going fast, and there are swings, but the swings tend to not be that major. The other thing is there's lots of status effects. So we've seen stuns. Stuns are pretty obvious. Petrify is basically exactly the same thing as a stun, except it lasts longer. And I'm not sure if you can take damage in a Petrify. Like, in a stun, you might be able to be healed, but in a Petrify, you're not. I'm not sure. This is another minor complaint is I have no idea what half of these status effects do. Immaterial means you're invincible, which is... fairly sensible, but then some of them are called, like, Sands of Time, and I'm like, I had no idea what the fucking Sands of Time means, okay? Oil, I think, makes you take more damage from fire attacks. I don't know how I escaped out of that, actually. This one is getting dicey. This one's getting dicey. Try to steal the orb. Okay, I'm gonna try to land this ult. Luckily, we still have most of our HP bar left. We landed our stuff there. That's good. He's frozen! He's frozen! Escape! No, I'm slain. Oh, that support is so close to death. You got him! You got it! You got it, dude. I have faith. I have faith. You get a lot of these, like, 1v2s where somebody has a lot of HP and the 2 have low, and I like his chances. I really wish that he'd attack the healer, but, you know, who am I to talk? He did better than I did. The other thing that's cool about this, and this is like a buzzword that it happened in Smite all the time as well, but everything's a skill shot. And I think that that's really important in a game like this, because it means that it's not just like your abilities off cooldown, cast it. You actually have to have some skill, lead your shots, etc., etc. I would probably bet on the other dude at this point. They both countered. If you hit someone in a counter, you, oh! Hold him! Nice! My hero! Watch him as he goes! If you hit somebody in a counter, they get a benefit out of it, basically. Ah, you're done. You're done. You are done. Good fight, though. Good try. Yeah, everything is a skill shot, so it makes it a little bit more engaging than just being like, well, my attack does 75 damage, lightning bolt, lightning bolt. You have to land it, and there's a kind of a sense of like, you know, oh, when you do. So I think that that's positive. I have been surprised by Battlerite. It's been It kind of feels to me like this is for MOBA-style combat or arena-style combat. Look, if you're mad about the buzzwords, you need to reprioritize things in your life. I'm just going to tell you that straight up. It's an arena RPG-style MOBA, top-down smite. It doesn't matter. You're watching it in motion. You know what's happening. I think that it does for those games what, like, Rocket League did for sports games to some extent. Now, I don't think, at least right now, I don't think that this is a game that is as good as Rocket League is. Rocket League is like a once per, like, every half-decade sort of marvel, I think. Oh, get out, get out, get out. This is a little bit... I need help, like, desperately. This is a little bit, like, less special than that. I'm just gonna try to ult, and hopefully I don't die before I hit too many shots here. We're gonna lose, and I take a lot of responsibility for that. But I think that the comparison makes sense. Even if you're not really into sports games, you're like car soccer, I can get behind that. Even if you're not into MOBAs, which I tend not to be now, this is a game where you're like, you know, this is like the most fun parts of a MOBA distilled. And that's not to say that this is a better game than Dota 2, it's just a faster game. It's like the difference between eating a greasy fast food meal and eating like a slow food, you know, home-cooked, organic, single origin, so you know what I mean, basically. They both have their benefits. This is fast. It's, you know, instant gratification. MOBAs tend to be a little bit more of a slow build. You know, we've worked on our strategy. We adjusted on the fly. This is definitely just meant to be faster. And I think that it works as a result of that. Let's change our champions. You know, if it was just me playing without anybody watching, I would totally just play Jade over and over because it's the only character I play as, but I'm boring like that. Right now, in terms of champions, there's 3 different kinds: melee, support, and ranged. So in terms of support champions, Paloma is considered like extremely powerful. I have played as Pearl. I'm not sure why I am at level 1 with her, but maybe we'll play as Lucy. She's beginner friendly. And then there are, you know, there's ranged champions. Some of those are supports as well. And then there's melee champions. You're going to see a lot of Shifu. You're going to see a lot of Croak, who is kind of like, you know, the Rikimaru character. You're going to see a lot of Jade. You're going to see a lot of Taya, in my experience. And a little bit of Iva as well. But sure, let's play as Lucy. Although I really feel like in 2v2s, support's not very good. I really feel like double DPS is the ticket there. But sure, let's play Lucy. I loosely heard prayers on your first album, Truly. Lucy don't mind, because at the end of the day, you'll pursue me. I gotta remind myself what her abilities are. She's the... Oh no, Jade's the tutorial character. Alright, so we're in a 3v3 here, because I think support might be better. I also think it sort of... I think it tries to match you with a balanced team, but I wish that you picked your hero after you saw what your teammates picked, but that might slow down matchmaking, you know? So the instant gratification stuff is for better and for worse. So, Lucy's kind of like an alchemist-type character, except as a support instead of a carry. So left-click is a projectile attack that inflicts toxic, and then right-click, I think, is a healing flask, and you gain charges for that. I forget what charges it up, though. Maybe like landing toxic bolts on other enemies. Maybe it's just time. Recharges faster for each nearby ally. So I guess it's time. Space is a barrier. You can put it on yourself or on teammates. Q basically is knockback, but it also buffs and debuffs enemies or allies and enemies respectively. And then the real clutch one here is this panic flask, which I just used, and it causes enemies to flee. I really find that most of the time it's important if you go 3v3 if you actually have like 3 teammates, but maybe I'm just old-fashioned that way. I really do feel like the game does a good job of avoiding MOBA salt. And that's something that's... maybe it just comes in later. Maybe we'll only find out later that this... we have an escape on R, by the way. That the game actually makes us salty, but for now, I haven't felt that way. The escape, unfortunately, costs us energy, which is why this character is a little bit interesting from a design standpoint. Instead of just having a cooldown, there's actually, you know, it sets you back from getting your ultimate. I'm playing pretty badly right now, by the way. But the panic is so important because it causes enemies to basically flee. It's like a pseudo-escape. We have to use barrier on our teammates, but sometimes we also have to use it on ourselves, because, you know, if we don't, we're fucked. But I think 3v3 also allows for a little bit more in the way of swings, which is nice. We should... I have not used my heal at all. So, like, I'm a little embarrassed, but... Oh! I worked the barrier! I worked the barrier! We did it, boys! I'm super dead, though, probably. Or maybe not. Maybe instead I will get the last hit like a scumbag. But they don't actually track kills. They track scores, so... I'm very surprised. I played really badly that time, but we won regardless. So, here, well, let's come to the meat and potatoes of it. It's a quote Willie Desjardins. Are we going to recommend buying this, or are we not going to recommend buying this? It's a bizarrely weird choice in this situation, because I think that it's definitely worth buying, but it's also going to be free with microtransactions later. So I think if you like what you see, it really comes down to this question. Do I recommend it? Wholeheartedly. 6 or 7 hours in the game so far if you include the time spent in this video. Is that worth 20 bucks? Yeah, I'd say that, for me at least, that's a pretty great value proposition. But would you rather pay 20 bucks, get all the heroes for free, or would you rather get it for free and deal with microtransactions later? It's an interesting question. I think that everybody's, well, not everybody's gonna have a different answer for, because there's only, you know, 2 questions you could possibly have. I'm fucked. No, it's flee, panic. At least we slayed an enemy, but I didn't put up much of a fight there, unfortunately. But it's 2v2, and we got 2 DPS left. They've got DPS and tank left, I think. We might be able to get ourselves out of this. My teammates seem better than I am. Honestly, like, the fact that I'm grade 8 going on grade 9 in the game is a result of me getting carried quite a lot. Like, when I was playing with Kate in 2v2s, Kate carried me. And I'll be honest with you, when I was playing with Sinvicta and Mathis, I think they were both better than me, but Mathis was getting MVPs like non-stop. Okay, you gotta get that ult. Ooh, he did hit it, but just does damage after a little bit of time here. Yeah, he had an uphill battle there for sure. By the way, that circle that shows up in sudden death, which we didn't see there but have seen on some occasions, that just indicates that it's like the culling. It's like the gas in the culling. It moves inwards, and you take damage if you're inside of it. All right, let's do this. Actually hit your panic flasks, ideally. I have chat disabled right now, which I think is positive in any MOBA-esque game, but sure, my teammates are like, oh, support, you're supposed to heal. That seems fair. If we look at my score, I'm not healing very much. I do have the most disables, though. Okay, sometimes range is not good there. You do have a mount as well. I'm not even going to talk about that, because I find it somewhat silly that there's mounts in the game. Just seems like... I mean, I don't want to be too cynical about it, but it seems like kind of like an extra avenue for microtransactions. You have a mount that allows you to flee, but it has a charge time associated with it, so mostly, like, the only times you really see mounts are at the very, very beginning of the game. Rarely do you see them otherwise. Oh, I got you, dude. You see that? You see that? We've escaped. So, I think, like, to distill it down to the easiest possible explanation, I think that for Lucy... Oh, that was bad. The ideal thing that you want to do... Oh god, I cast barrier on the wrong enemy. Is panic enemies and get them, you know, scattered, and then when they're scattered, focus on attacking one. I have no idea what Zap does, by the way. So yeah, if we can panic 2 enemies and then focus on one... Yeah, we missed that. That was... Let's be honest, I missed that. 3 seconds left on barrier. 2, 1... We're Gucci for a second here. We missed the panic flask, and as a result, we will die. And that's on me. One of these days I'm gonna get to see my ultimate. One of these days I'm gonna get to see it. I'm probably gonna lose this one. But yeah, I mean, the general premise of the video that I want to get across is I really, like, not to be negative, but I was not impressed with the trailers and the marketing material that I saw for this game. And it's not a game where you can be like, yo, wait, what a novel idea. Wow, like soccer with cars. I know that there was, you know, supersonic, aerobatic battle rocket cars or whatever, but, before Rocket League, that is. It's not a novel idea. Like, it's kind of, it seems like a generic concept and something that's hard to get excited about the first time you see it, but playing it has really made me a believer. There's nothing else that's come out this month that I want to play more, to be honest with you. Something something No Man's Sky. Yeah, so I'm having a good time with Battlerite so far, and I'm optimistic that that will continue in my experience so far. You need that barrier. Okay, the barrier is the clutch ability. It might benefit you to actually land it from time to time. You still good, dude? Like, not really, but... Panic! Panic them! Okay, you got a little bit of a window to escape, Jade. Let's do this, team. Now, you might not have noticed that, but my Q there debuffed the enemy, which is extremely valuable for me personally. But now I'm fucked. But I have the ult. Okay, so we gotta land a stun, ideally. And then just drop the ult. Oh, they all scattered. Get the ult again. Drop it again. It sort of worked temporarily. Oh, what was that? I don't know what I was doing there. I don't know. I think I did a little bit more damage that time, but we're fucked. You are dead. Oh! He's done it. MLG. Oh! It's a tie. It's a tie. No, there's one other person left. Wow, we were not as close as I thought. All right. That was still a good game. I had some good moments at the end there, but mostly played pretty bad. I don't like playing support in this game. Paloma is supposedly amazing, though. Yeah, my score was really bad. Well, no. It came up. Never mind. My score was the best on my team. I thought I was the dude who sucked at the game, but it turns out I'm actually the dude with no life, as the saying goes. Anyway, this is Battlerite. It's 20 bucks. It's worth it. And then also, bizarrely not, because it's going to be free later. But for me personally, if you like what you see, I think it's worth buying into the early access. It's a lot of fun. Very surprising so far. I've had a great time with it. And I'm glad that the video will go up before it probably gets accused of being Twitch and YouTube bait, because it's very popular right now. But some games are popular for a reason. Thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. It helps me out an enormous amount. And subscribe if you want to see more Let's Look Ats in the future. For now, thanks for watching. And I'll see you next time.